Sharon had always been a survivor. First in the hell of her childhood, then in the streets, in the shelters, then the Marines. Kandahar. She thought she'd finally escaped the constant sense of desperation. Out of combat, off the streets, a good job, working from home, her own apartment, a car stashed away in case she needed to leave town, the anonymity of a concrete jungle. New York had gone to hell in a handbasket damn quick. She liked to do her shopping early in the mornings. She was picking up rice and beans when her phone chirped, the first warning. She gathered supplies and made her way deep into the back of the store. In the center of the building, she'd found what she knew she would: basement access, sewer access, access to the maintenance stairways, and exhaust tunnels leading to the subways. That's why she'd chosen New York. Plenty of winding tunnels and hidden abandoned areas to get lost in quick. Plenty of places to flee to. She'd gotten close enough to the active subway lines to know that they were no kind of shelter. All the street thugs and worst of the city had hit the subways as soon as things hit the fan. Down there, it was survival by knife and rule by might. So she went to her apartment and grabbed her bug-out bag. MREs, cash, clothes, and weaponry. The laser rangefinder was the most useful tool, though. She knew that if she was headed up near the surface, that any opening to the sky could mean her death. She'd seen the desiccated corpses of people at doorways and not quite blocked up windows too often in those first few days. Now, it was a matter of finding someplace close to the surface for airflow and signal where she might be able to hole up, gather supplies, wait for the all clear. Survive. She had to be quick and quiet. Open, shove, click, click, yank, and close. Open the hatch an inch or two, shove the hand with the rangefinder around the corner pointing straight up, click it on, click it off, pull the hand back, and close the hatch. It was an exercise she'd done a dozen times a day for the last week, and it always managed to set her on edge. If the hatch opened to sky, she was pointing a laser straight up towards whatever the hell they were. If it didn't, she risked being heard, seen, grabbed by other more desperate, less civilized denizens of the tunnel, but it was her only way to make it to the surface to check for updates. Have to keep checking, have to wait it out. She had enough food, but she had to know when she could get to the surface, when she could get to her car. It wasn't pretty, but it was tough, and it had a trunk with another set of bug-out bags. The tent might be useless, but MREs wouldn't be. She knew that whatever was left of New York after this wouldn't be safe. Too many good people died in the first day, never getting the message, and in the days after. Too many bad people making it by victimizing others. Savages. Open, shove, click, click, yank, close. Freezing in place, listening, holding her breath. No sounds, no scurrying or shouting. Good. Bringing the rangefinder close to her face to read the barely luminous display, she found it said 3.1 meters. Good. That's just the roof of another tunnel. A sudden sound sent her heart tearing in two, into her throat and dropping through her stomach like a lead weight. Knock, knock. It was sudden, terrifying, and hilarious. In a life or death situation, fearing rapists, murderers, possibly even cannibals, someone had seen her take the range and then politely knocked on the hatch above her like they were delivering a pizza. If she wasn't on the edge of blacking out from the adrenaline, she might have been in tears laughing at the absurdity of the situation. But should she answer? Or run? Find some other path upwards? Sharon took hold of the handle to the hatch firmly in her right hand, her left, her dominant hand, tightly gripping the .45 she'd gotten from her first bug-out bag. She readied herself to spring the hatch open and dive into the tunnel above, ready to roll, take aim, and fire if she had to. With a silent count to 3, she turned the handle and launched her entire body weight against the hatch and to the right onto the ground. She heard a startled gasp, and as she rolled into a crouching firing position, both hands on her weapon, her eyes down the barrel lining up the iron sights on a little girl. No more than 10. Dirty. Starving. In what once must have been a frilly yellow nightgown. She clutched a dead flashlight in her hands, tears in her eyes as she gasped and shook with fear. As quickly as she'd snapped on target, she disengaged, putting the weapon on safe and holstering it as she should, putting her hands up. "I'm not going to hurt you, honey. I thought you might have been." And then with a flash of white light and sudden pain on the back of the head, her world went dark.